Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." I took a few moments this week to examine my life and look back over these past 2 years. We've had the pandemic, and I've had some other circumstances that have been challenging. And I came up with 3 lessons that really landed for me as I reflected on my life. The first lesson is simply, don't take the people and my privilege for granted. Now, I don't think that I take people for granted, but when my wife became sick in early 2020, I realized how fragile life really is. And it escalated so quickly. I remember during the pandemic having to drop her off at emergency on March 24th, 2020, and get the news by text that the emergency doctor told her that she had cancer. That was the first time we heard of it. And then walking with her through those next couple of months until she passed away on May 14th. It rocked our world. It was life-changing. And what I think about was all of the people and the family and the friends that walked with us and with me through that devastating period of our lives. And I don't ever want to take for granted the people in my life and the privilege in my life to think that I deserve my life to always go well. Because life doesn't always go well, and there are things that happen that can be devastating, losses and difficulty. So that's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is during times of uncertainty and continuous change, adaptability is your friend. Now, a lot of people just realized that the plans they had went out the window, and that was true for me. Not only with my family and the future that we had planned together, but in my work and in my life, so many things that I thought were going to go a certain way were completely changed, and I had to go in a whole new direction. So it was such a powerful lesson as I reflect on it, that because I was able to adapt and change, then I was able to thrive. Now, I'm the guy that often says to a new idea that comes to me, "No way. Come ride horses with us. No way, my ankle's twisted and I would just experience pain," and I have all kinds of excuses. But I'm learning to say nothing or yes and not say no so quickly, because adaptability is my friend and your friend. Third lesson is pressure and adversity reveals character. It doesn't actually build character. Now, sometimes people think, well, when I go through hardship, I become a better person. Not necessarily. And we noticed that. I noticed that during the pandemic. Families being torn apart. All of this trouble that was going on between people because of the circumstances. I'm not getting into the circumstances or the reasons behind all that. But all that to say, when pressure was on, it revealed who those people really were. I felt that pressure when I heard that cancer diagnosis. That was an opportunity for me to go 2 very different ways. I could choose to hate the cancer. I could choose to become bitter towards this disease, this invisible enemy that was taking my wife away from me. I could have gone that way. Or the way that I chose, it took a while, was to, I can't control this. It's happening to us. I want to be open to whatever I need to learn and accept that this is our reality. I didn't have to say it was a good thing. But as I welcomed it into our lives, it took away that bitterness, that resentment that would have just killed me on the inside, and gave me capacity to love my wife, to love my friends, to be fully present so that I could thrive and grieve well and live well in the midst of a devastating season of my life. So for you, just take a few minutes and reflect on your life. What are some of the lessons that you can learn and glean from these past 2 years? I'd love to hear what some of those are. And if you're continuing to struggle with grieving your losses and dealing with whatever you've been through, I would love to hear from you, because that's one of the ways that I find that I'm able to help people is to be an empathetic witness and to allow people to bring what they are and who they are to the conversation in hopes that they can learn their lessons and move forward also. Thanks for listening. Have a great day, and I look forward to staying in touch.